Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our today's session is about the types of magnetic materials, part 1. The first magnetic class of the material is the paramagnetic materials. In last session, we have seen about a magnetic atom and a non-magnetic atom, and we also discussed about the diamagnetic solids in which all the magnetic atoms are all the atoms which are making a diamagnetic solid are non-magnetic. They don't have any net spin magnetic moment. Here the case is different in paramagnetic material, that is the first class of the magnetic material. In paramagnetic materials, at least one type of atom is magnetic atom, and these magnetic atoms are the tiny permanent dipoles in these solids. For example, if you take example of a diatomic solid, say AB, where A and B are the elements in the periodic table, then either A is a magnetic atom or B is a magnetic atom, or both A and B are the magnetic atoms. This is different from the diamagnetic solid in which A and B both were non-magnetic atoms. The second thing about the paramagnetic solids is that the net magnetization M of these solid is 0 in the absence of the external magnetic field. Why is it so? Even there are the magnetic atoms, A is magnetic atom or B is magnetic atom, or both of them is magnetic atom. So then why the total magnetic moment is 0 when there is no external magnetic field? The answer to this question is that in case of paramagnetic solids, these neighboring atomic dipoles are randomly oriented. They are free from the effect of each other, or in other words, you can say that the magnetic coupling or the exchange interactions between the neighboring atomic dipoles is 0. They are randomly oriented such that if we take the total magnetic moment of this solid, this become equal to 0 because these are randomly oriented. The third thing about this class of solid is that when this solid is placed in an external magnetic field, here you can see that this solid of figure 1 is placed in a magnetic field H, which is applied externally. These dipoles align themselves in the direction of the magnetic field. So the total magnetic moment of this solid becomes non-zero, and it becomes the sum of the magnetic moments due to these solids, small tiny dipoles. So the magnetic susceptibility, that is the paramagnetic susceptibility, is M over H. It becomes positive in the presence of the external magnetic field, but this is small when compared to the other classes of the magnetic material. The other classes of the magnetic material we will see in next slides. These are the antiferromagnetic and the ferromagnetic solids. So the question is, on removal of the applied field, the dipoles again become random, like in figure 1. If you remove this field vector or the external magnetic field, these magnetic dipoles become random, like in figure 1. What does this tell? It tells that these magnetic dipoles are free from the effect of each other. They are only under the effect of the external magnetic field. So whenever you remove the field, these solids again gets their magnetic dipoles randomly oriented. Let us move toward the next slide. The paramagnetic susceptibility. What does say about the paramagnetic susceptibility? The classical theory and the quantum theory. the classical theory says that the paramagnetic susceptibility is given by this equation number 1. So here there is an important note for you people, that the derivation of this equation number 1 is left as an exercise for the students, and this derivation falls in the scope of this course. For that you have to consult the recommended book, that is the Solid State Physics by R.K. Puri and V.K. Babbar. So this, what does this equation tell? This equation tells that the paramagnetic susceptibility is inversely proportional to temperature. If you see all the terms mu naught n mu m over k, these are the constant and defined here, that n is the number of atomic dipoles in the solid, mu m is the magnetic moment of each atomic dipole, k is the temperature Boltzmann constant, and T is the temperature. So this equation can be written as C over T, where C is equal to this constant, and this equation number 1 is also known as the Curie's law, and this C is called the Curie's constant. Remember that this equation number 1 is for small h, when the applied field is small or high temperatures, or in other words, this mu naught b over kt is very less than 1. This term mu naught b over kt is an important term, and it comes in the derivation. When you will derive this equation, you will see this important term. So equation 1 indicates that for paramagnetic solids, the paramagnetic susceptibility is inversely proportional to temperature. It decreases with the increase in temperature. And remember, for diamagnetic solids, this susceptibility was independent of the temperature. So here is the first another difference between the diamagnetic and the paramagnetic solids. If you draw the susceptibility of an unknown material, if this comes out to be independent of temperature, it is a diamagnetic solid, and if it is inversely proportional to temperature, this is a paramagnetic. This can be a paramagnetic solids. So this case was for small fields, or for this one, but what happens for large fields, when the external field is very high or temperature is very small? In that case, all the atomic dipoles align themselves along the direction h. This is figure number 2, again written on this page. When all the magnetic dipoles are in the direction of the applied magnetic field, then the magnetization of the system becomes maximum, and it is called the saturation magnetization. Now let us see that what does the quantum theory say about the paramagnetic susceptibility. The paramagnetic susceptibility, according to quantum theory of paramagnetism, is again mu naught m over b, that is given by equation number 2, that is C over T. It again is similar to the classical theory, and again here is a note for people you to derive equation number 2 as an exercise for you. For that, consult the same book, and remember that this equation again is for small temperatures or high value, for small magnetic fields or high values of the temperatures. In both of the theories, the paramagnetic susceptibility is positive, and it is inversely proportional to the temperature, or in other words, the temperature coefficient of the paramagnetic susceptibility is negative. Here you can see it is drawn in this equation. This blue line is for right vertical axis, and this black line is for left vertical axis. The slope of this curve, you can see it is constant C, the Curie's constant. Here is an important question again for you people, is that why is the temperature coefficient of the paramagnetic susceptibility is negative? And of course its answer is present in the notes I have given you. So it is left again for you people.